Hey friends, this is Dr. Michelle Bengtson and Selah with another hope-filled perspective. Wonder what the weather is like where you are. Where I am, it's bitterly cold and it's overcast, so it's not one of those beautiful sunny blue sky days, but it's still a good day. Hey Christina, good to see you. And Amy and Sharon. Oh, so good to see you guys. Cheryl, good to see you. So I just wanted to come to you today with another hope-filled perspective about how God wants the best for all of us. If you haven't been able to figure it out before now, I am a bit of an animal lover, especially little dogs, right? Here's Selah to prove it. She's our newest. And but I was sitting down to eat the other day and was eating something that is not appropriate for animals. And Selah came up and stood on her back haunches and was pawing at me because she could smell what I had. And I thought about it for a brief second, but we don't feed our dogs people food because it's not good for them, but especially things like chocolate and things like that. But she didn't know that it wasn't good for her. She was asking for it. She was begging for it. She was like, Mom, I don't know what you have, but I want some of that because it smells good. And I looked at her and I just thought, you know, out of love for you, I'm not going to give this to you because it would be bad for you. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't want to hurt you. So out of love for her, I made the right choice and I withheld something from her that she wanted. And it was like the Lord just dropped in my spirit, Michelle, I do that for you all the time. So often you pray and there are things that you want, but because I love you, I don't always answer your prayers the way you want me to. It's not because I'm trying to be mean. It's not because I'm angry. It's because I love you. And because I love you, sometimes I have to withhold something from you that you want, that you think would be good, but I know it wouldn't be good for you. And I think about that verse in James 1:7 that says, every good and perfect gift comes from the Father of lights. And I think about that because it says every good and perfect. And that's what God wants to give us. He wants to give us things that are good for us and things that are perfect for where we are, what our situation is, what we're going through, what's in our hearts, where He wants us to go. There's so many things that He could give us, but He only wants to give us the good and perfect things. And the more I thought about that and the more I prayed about it, God reminded me of the verse in Matthew 7, verses 9 through 11, which says, which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask Him? You know, the thing that crosses over both of those verses, the verse in Matthew and the verse in James, is that God wants to give us good gifts. The gifts that will help us. The gifts that we need. You know, He takes His time. He's never in a hurry. He knows the best time to give us those gifts, and they're always good and perfect. So even though I didn't give Selah the food that she thought would be good, it wouldn't have been good for her. So as someone who loves her, I withheld that. And that can be an act of love. And sometimes when God doesn't answer our prayers the way we want Him to, it's out of an act of love. In fact, I would say it's always, not sometimes, it's always an act of love. So that is your hope-filled perspective today, that God wants to give you good gifts. If you've been following me for any length of time at all, you know that one of my life verses is Jeremiah 29:11. This says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans for a future and a hope." That verse is all about God knowing what's best for us, wanting what's best for us, giving us what's best for us. Those things that will help give us a future and a hope, and that won't harm us. He is a good, good Father. So your hope-filled perspective today is trust that God only wants to give you good things. I pray that you will have a blessed, blessed day. And hey, if you're encouraged by any of these hope-filled perspectives and you think they would bless someone else, feel free to pass them along. Maybe that message was for you today, or maybe it's meant for someone you know. But he is a good, good Father. Until next time, this is Dr. Michelle Bengtson with another hope-filled perspective. Make it a hopeful day. Bye, everybody.